Have you met somebody online who turned out not to be real? Turned out to be married? These kind of things are pretty common, especially with online dating. Recently, even in Haro, we had the police crack down on this one location where they arrested 17, I think it was around 17 Chinese nationals who were running an operation where they were using girls to basically scam foreigners on dating websites. This is that common. There's so much money to be made. There are people out there, I know some of you out there, who have been talking with a girl who believe they're engaged to a girl, but they have been going on for a couple years now and have yet to meet the girl in person. Not judging anybody, you know, everybody makes their own decisions in life. But the good thing is there is ways to find out, you know, if they're married, if they've had, you know, if everything they're telling you is true, if they have 5 other Facebooks and 5 other accounts where they're having 5 different guys on the line sending them money, those kind of things. Yeah, it can get really bad. You know, it's a lot more dangerous here in the Philippines because, say for example, you are dating this girl who turns out to be married. Well, in the Philippines, adultery is illegal to have sexual intercourse with a married woman. It doesn't work the other way, but it is against a married woman. And so if you do, you both can be charged by that husband for adultery. And that could be up to like 5 years in prison. Don't quote me on all these exact numbers. It's all going to come down to a judge anyway, but still. Now, don't get me wrong. There are guys that I know that their Filipina, I guess, girlfriend had gotten married when she was 20 years old and then never got an annulment. The guy ditched, ran off, that kind of thing. And they met them later on. And now they've been together for like 15 years. No problems at all. I'm not saying it's going to be a problem, but the potential is there, especially if, well, she's just playing games with you, that kind of thing. And the guy's actually still around. So a company contacted me, and they are a background check company specifically for Filipinas. So if you want to find out if they're married, if you want to find out if they, you know, they say they work at a certain company or whatever, to check to see if they actually work at these companies, all kinds of stuff. The full kind of background checks within the legal boundaries that are available here in the Philippines. Like in Canada, for example, background checks were extremely hard to do, but in America, very easy. So there's always a balance. You have to stay within the law. But this company says that they follow the law and that they can provide these kind of services and really help you. And they can give you that peace of mind that you are dealing with somebody who's being honest with you and that doesn't have a marriage already. Okay, so let me introduce you to Carl of PCheck Online. And well, Carl, my first question for you is, when did the company start? Can you tell us a little bit about the company?
Okay, thanks for the question, Michael. So PCheck has only been up and running for the last few weeks, very, very recent. It is partly run by another company that I run from the UK called Beacon Cyber Consult. So I work with that business as a consultant. I also work as a CompTIA cybersecurity instructor, teaching cybersecurity courses to UK apprenticeship in a UK apprenticeship program. So the PCheck.online website really was a spring off based on my experience of being in the Philippines for the last 5 years. And just talking to so many different people, expats that have been scammed and robbed and cheated. And, you know, due to that reason, I decided to start this offshoot up just to see if we can, you know, gather information and try and give people reassurance regards to that situation.
All right, thank you. All right, so can you briefly explain what your company does, like what processes you do, that kind of thing?
Okay, so what services do we provide at PCheck.online? So we have a number of services that we can run. At the top end, we've got the background checks, which is a very, very comprehensive service check of the person. Includes, you know, criminal records, full background check of employment, references, marital status, any criminal checks, fraud, or anything else online. Very, very comprehensive check. And that's run by a partner of ours, which is a detective agency based up in Manila. Right the way down to the lower end, where we can do social media checks, public profile checks. We can see what they're accessing, what dating sites they're on, who are they talking to, things like that, which is all publicly available information. So one of the things you have to be careful of in this day and age is that we adhere to the Data Privacy Act. So the Philippines have a Data Privacy Act, which was came out in 2012. So we have to make sure that we follow and adhere to those rules within that, which means that we cannot provide private information to individuals about other people. But what you'll find is in today's world, if you're online, then you have quite a significant online profile, and we can scan using lots of different cybersecurity tools called OSINT, which stands for Open Source Intelligence Tools. And we can use those tools to pull information about that person. Who are they talking to? What sites do they go to? What social media status do they have? What's their presence online? And we can gather that information, produce a report, and provide that report to people. That's publicly available information, and we have access, and everyone has access to that information, which is fine. Obviously, that's a lot less cost, and so, that's a shorter service as well. So we have many services we can do. We can verify information. We have people on the ground, Filipino people working for me, that can go and knock on doors, basically, just to see if, if your girlfriend is living alone, or as she says it is, sort of thing. So there's many things that we can do.
So you will be able to tell if a Filipina is already married.
Regards the marital status, we are able to produce that and find the information out, but we would need permission from the person who you are investigating or doing the status check on. And the reason for that is because that's classed as private information. And we'd need their written permission in order for us to carry out those checks. The background check would also include that as well. But yeah, we can do individual ones, which obviously at a lower cost and take a lot less time. Just be aware that, as I said previously, we do have to adhere to the Philippines Data Privacy Act 2012. So we cannot divulge private information to anybody about anybody else.
Right. Okay. So without sharing anyone's personal details, we don't want to out anybody or anything. Have you heard any real nightmare stories before?
Yeah, look, I've been in the Philippines for over 5 years, been based there since 2000 and early 2019. So I've heard many stories, some good, or not too bad, actually, I should say, and some, really bad with large financial implications. So, and also, it happened to myself when I first came to Cebu in 2019, January 2019, to meet somebody, and I found out about 2 or 3 weeks later after meeting and dating with this person that she was married, and she'd forgot to mention that when we were having conversations. And then I didn't realize at the time the implications of dating a married woman. So I found that out a couple of weeks later, and then had to end that relationship. So look, there are many stories of people that have been ripped off and scammed, and I hear it and see it all the time. And most of it is really coming from the online stuff. That's these scammers and these P&I ladies are tricking these guys overseas. I need a new phone. My mum's in hospital. My dad's in hospital. I've got something wrong with me. I need to pay for my medication. To be honest, I've been dating in the Philippines for a long time, and I've heard pretty much every single story you could possibly think of. So I know it goes on, and I know that it's a big issue. And if you're not living in the country and you're talking to someone overseas, how the hell can you trust anybody? You just can't. So And especially if you're starting to shell out money, hand over fist, which a lot of these foreigners are actually doing, without checking on this person. They don't know anything about them. I had a friend a few years ago who went back to the UK for work, and then a story came through from some other friends saying that his girlfriend was living with a Filipino guy at the same time. So I went round and found that information out, and then passed that on back to my friend in the UK. So yeah, it definitely happens. And I know you need trust in relationship, obviously to make it good. But the issue is you're overseas, you're handing out money, you don't really know the person until you've really met them and their family. All we're providing is a service for you to get some reassurance. We can double check on some information for you. We can go and knock on doors. We can do surveillance. We can do background checks. We can do pretty much anything we need to do to find if that person is genuine and honest and is doing what they say they are.
In this day and age, AI is taking over everything, right? From videos, images, just about everything now. Are you able, as part of your investigation, are you able to tell if images or videos have been either altered or generated, that kind of thing?
Yes, there are a number of tools that we do use and can use to try and detect if it's a genuine photograph. They tend to look through anomalies within the photo itself, high resolution digital, and also metadata. So yeah, we are usually able to detect that. The other thing we can do as well, we've got an image, we can then compare that with publicly available information, social media network images that have been posted, and just try and gather or ascertain that is the correct person, as they say.
Okay. Well, I think the biggest thing is people are going to want to know, like, how much is this service? Like, is it case by case, or is it just one set fee, that kind of thing? And also, like, how can someone retain your services? You might as well plug it here, because people might be interested and they should know where to go.
So we don't have a set price for everybody, because obviously everybody's different. Every individual case will be different, and it depends on so many different things. Do they have an online profile? Where are they located? What is the issue? And what are we trying to define? So it's an individual by individual based cost bracket, and that depends on the scenario that we've been presented with, and the time and effort it'll take. So we'll provide a quote for anyone and everyone, really. So to use our services, simply just go to our website, PCheck.online, click on contact us or use our services, or any of those buttons on there. It'll take you to a form link. Send through your information, as much detail as you can about what you're trying to do. We will then contact you then via email and or WhatsApp or whatever suits you, and then basically we'll try and gather a profile information from what you've given us, and then we will do a little bit of upfront work to just assess, is that person online, what information can we find out about them, and then that will give us some idea of a cost associated with that, because it could require travel, it could require the use of the detective agency, it could require the use of background checks and many other things. So there isn't a set price for anything, really, because it really does depend on the individual case.
Okay, it makes sense. So what is the plan for the future? Are you going to have, like, other countries like Thailand or anything else? Like, where are you going to go from here?
The future for us at the moment is literally just to concentrate on the Philippines. I have knowledge and experience of living there, and we're just trying to see, how far we'll go with this. Could we expand to other countries? Potentially, yes. But at the moment, we're just happy with the Philippines. Depends how busy we get, and obviously we'll increase staff or whatever we need to do if things get very busy. But I think it's sort of the way of the future, really, because now people are going online. There is a lot of information about everybody online, and just for everyone to be aware, really, that if you are online, then your information is public, regardless of whether you think it's private or not. It isn't. It's publicly available. Anybody can access it with the right tools. So that's just something for people to be aware of. So yeah, look, we've just started off. We're very new in the Philippines, and we're hoping to expand as we go.
Yeah, makes sense. Got to stick to one place first, and Philippines is a huge market, right? 110 million people, so makes sense. It's going to be a while before you've really fully encapsulated the market here. Also, I feel like there's a lot more foreigners online dating in the Philippines. So it kind of makes sense. But I could be wrong. I don't know the numbers. Anyway, Carl, I want to thank you very much. So his company is called PCheck Online. I'll make sure there's a link. If you don't see it in the comments, because I put these videos up and I'm often not awake yet, it'll be in the link in the description. So you can just click more and find the link there. But yeah, I'm glad, Carl, you came on today. And I think his connection cut out, so I won't be able to say goodbye to him properly. But anyway, that's okay. Thank you very much, Carl. I'm sure you'll see this after. And there you go, guys. Hopefully you find it helpful. I've heard the horror stories myself. I've met some people who went through some really terrible things like this. And if something like this was existing at the time, I think they would have availed themselves because some of these stories are pretty bad. A lot of money was lost. So, all right, guys. Well, I hope you're subscribed. I need more subscribers. Can you help me out there? Doesn't cost anything to click subscribe. It also costs nothing to click like. And if you want to share any of your wonderful horror stories so that others can learn their lessons from our mistakes, put it down in the comments, and we'll see you all in the next video. Thank you very much for joining, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
At 29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back.